How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So welcome. Again, this is Faces of First Atlanta. This is episode 2. We got Linde Moore here. And let's jump into this. So
Okay.
I want to hear your story, who you are, how you got here, all that fun stuff. What would you share with us?
Well, I came from a stork.
A stork?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was always
You were
told.
delivered?
Yes. So where do I come from? I'm from a small town in Georgia. I graduated with 6 people.
That's beyond small town.
Yes.
Okay.
So small little school. 2 weeks after graduating high school, I moved to Atlanta to start college and
Okay.
never went back.
So what town? Just curious.
Dalton.
Dalton.
Rocky
Okay.
Face, Dalton.
Okay. So small town, moved to the big city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No cliche there, I'm sure.
No.
Right? Like, and then you go to school. What'd you go to school for?
I went to school for 2 different things. I guess I had competing interests.
Okay.
One was interior design, and then the other one was political science. And I know they
Okay.
have nothing to do with each other.
It doesn't matter. So coming out of high school, the dream was go to school, get out of small
Yeah,
town.
I really didn't have a lot of direction.
Yeah.
I was just doing whatever interested me. And so at my big girl job,
Yeah.
what I thought I would want to be one day, was to be a lobbyist
Okay.
at the Capitol. So
In DC.
yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I did not do that.
You did not do that.
No.
So catch me up. So obviously you go to school.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the thought. I'm going to move to DC, be a lobbyist. I'm sure the movies played a role somewhere in there. I'm sure you see it all in Hollywood.
Exactly.
So what happened?
So I pretty much have done a million different things. So at one point I was selling stone, like landscaping stone.
Okay.
I have worked at restaurants, many restaurants. But right out of college, I got a job working for a developer.
Okay.
And he was one of the original developers doing luxury homes in Country Club of the South.
Okay.
And then had the foresight to get into luxury apartments
Okay.
before and do multifamily before the crash. So we were doing 300 plus units, multifamily unit communities
Yeah.
around the Southeast
From the
region.
ground up.
Yeah, everything
Okay.
from land acquisition to development to construction.
Oh, wow.
Then with a third party leasing company like RAM or Lincoln Property Management. And then we would get the occupancy up to 80%, and then we would sell
Yeah.
the properties.
What a life experience.
So what's interesting about developers' offices, they work on a skeleton crew. So we were able to accomplish all of these things. And these were 30 plus million
Yeah.
dollar deals in the downturn of the market with 4 people.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
learned a
So you're
lot.
in your 20s,
Yes.
getting this education around real estate, not even intentionally probably.
No,
just
it was
learning.
just, I just landed there. It was a friend of mine that knew the owner, that, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I loved it.
Okay.
I absolutely loved it. And then my life paused.
Okay.
My dad died.
Okay.
And it was suddenly. So I went from, and even though I had big girl job and everything, I was a daddy's girl.
I think it's funny. You call it the big girl.
The big girl
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
So I had this job, but I really wasn't making a lot of money. Let's face it, the downturn of the market,
Yeah.
I think my salary was $28,000. Like, it was not a lot.
Yeah.
So I hadn't really learned how to pay my bills, how to be an adult yet. And my dad had always taken care of all of that
Yeah.
for me. So when he died suddenly, I made the decision that I was not going to rely on my mother. I couldn't do that to her. That would just, as a daughter, that's not
Yeah.
the right thing to do in my situation. And so I
In your
turned,
mid-20s at the
Mhm.
time? Okay.
I turned to working a lot. So I ended up getting a job on the weekends. I worked at a restaurant. I worked double shifts every Friday or every Saturday, every Sunday.
Right.
And worked full time during the week. And I'd come across this lady who said to me, you know what, like, I work in hospice and you have the perfect personality. This is exactly what she told me. You have the perfect personality for a position that I'm hiring for. And this position is very similar to pharmaceutical sales. So it was meeting with doctors and clinicians and providing services for hospice.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any clinical background.
Right.
I wasn't a nurse. I didn't have my master's or any of this stuff. This is exactly like who my fellow competitors would be. She went on a whim on my personality alone and said that I would be great for meeting with doctors and talking with them.
There's a lesson here.
There is.
And I've heard it 1,000 times. We probably need to beat it in our heads 1,000 more times, is we should certainly hire for behavior and train the skill set later. Instead, we try to hire people based on their resume.
I had no resume.
Behavior doesn't match, right?
Yeah.
And, but anyway, keep going. I'm just sitting there thinking like, well, that lady was smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I get in there and I had a lot of doubters.
Okay.
A lot of doubters, right? I had no clinical background.
Right.
All I knew was that I knew what it was like to go through somebody's death that was very close to you. And I was able to relate to the patients. I was able to relate as much as I could. I mean, relate to the families. At such a young age, I would always get, but you're so young, how do you understand this? Mm-hmm. And I ended up being their #1 sales agent.
Oh, wow.
And so.
And this is in Atlanta?
This is in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yep. And that's really where I learned my sales. And I've done other things too. Like I used to be on Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, doing wedding dress sales, things like that. But the majority was from hospice.
You learned real estate and business from the developer, and you learned people and sales from hospice. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
So fast forward. I really missed real estate.
Okay.
I love to build things, and working with hospice was really great for my heart, and great for like so many things that I learned. But I wanted to get my real estate license, so I went and got my real estate license. And I thought once I had my real estate license that, all right, I quit my job. I went went full time in, and I just landed in this office. It was not, somebody just mentioned, oh, do you know John Fountain? And I was like, no, I did not interview any offices.
Okay.
I did not go through the detail of like, where do I want to be? I didn't overthink it. I just came in and said, okay, here's my license.
Fate took over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So how long ago was that?
That was in December of 2013. I put my license here.
Okay, so this December will be 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's happened?
Well, I started right out of the gate, January. I had my first binding contract that month that I started.
In January, nobody buys houses in December and January.
Well, you know what? Nobody told me that.
That's what agents say.
Yeah, nobody. See, here's the thing with me is that I choose not to listen. Like when the downturn of the market happened, I didn't realize it was a downturn in the market. I only made $28,000.
Yep.
And I was just happy as could be.
Yep.
I didn't realize I didn't have money to lose.
Right.
So
sometimes being conveniently stubborn is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom would say that.
Okay. Great.
So
anyway, keep going.
So let's see, where did I
So you sell your first house.
I sell my first house. My first year in the business, I sold 27 homes.
Wow. Okay. Rookie of the year?
Believe it or not, I was not rookie of the year.
Here's a bad part. I don't know, so that's a sore subject, but keep going. That's great success for first year.
Yeah, so I did 127,000 my first year. And I never stopped. The next year I did, I think it was 54 homes and did 364 in GCI.
Okay.
So when I first came in, I initially said, I was like, I want to make 55,000.
Yeah. Okay. So you exceeded your expectations.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right. So I'm guessing it wasn't all roses along the way.
No.
And it's not as pretty as we're maybe making it sound in this video.
Yeah.
Pull the curtain back for a minute.
Okay.
What were some of the challenges? What were some of the struggles you went through that you persevered? I mean, be real for a minute. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, all of that is real. That
Okay,
happened.
I'm not saying be
Yeah.
unreal. I'm saying get real for us.
I worked probably 18-hour days.
Okay.
I did not have an assistant. I just knew that I had to be in front of people.
Okay.
I did open houses every single weekend. I was in the office, here at the office, like every day.
Every day.
Even on the weekends.
Okay.
I mean, I was just constantly working. Remember, I came from a history of working a full-time job plus double shifts on the weekends,
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
And so I just felt comfortable always working. I didn't have kids. I wasn't married.
Yeah.
And it was my life.
Work ethic, I think some people go to corporate America and they kind of instill the work ethic in people, and then that translates. But some people innately have it. Do you have any idea how?
I watched my dad.
That in you. Okay.
Yeah, I watched my dad. My dad he was a doctor, and I watched him build a practice just through grit.
Okay.
And he did it through networking in the community. And I just saw him constantly build, constantly be a part of the community. And that community would give back to him. And I just have always wanted to be in the community because of that. And I wanted to be a part and do things and give back. And
in your way, in your
my
industry.
Way. Yeah.
Okay. So grit is just ingrained from you looking at your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you jump in, pulling the curtain back just means it was a lot of hard work, right? And
really, I just kept going and didn't stop. And I don't really necessarily know that that's the best for everybody, but if you wanted the honest truth about what I did, this is what I did.
Right. So you did all those things. Where did you find your success?
My sphere.
Okay. So you're a relationship-based agent?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes and no. So I would say half is from my sphere. That was one area that I had success. I get referrals from them, and they work with me. I even had my number one competitor in hospice. We were friends on Facebook. She called me.
Different company or same company? Okay.
Different company. And she called me to sell her house when I got into real estate.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, she knew. I asked her, I was like, we used to be, competitors. And she said, well, you always, made it difficult for me to win. So I want you on my side to sell a house.
I'm finding it odd that hospice has competition, but I don't want to go there.
Yeah, it actually is a very competitive market.
All right, so started building a team.
Started to build a team.
Okay.
So
what year?
That was in 2015.
Okay. Take me back. That's hard. It's not easy to start.
No. So I had the opportunity to meet a girl. Her father had just passed away.
Okay.
And she'd always wanted to get into real estate. And we had a mutual friend that was like, you know what? Why don't you meet Linde? You have a lot in common. And we met for lunch one day. And it was just one of those things of I see talent and I could see an opportunity. And I thought to myself, it would be foolish for me not to do a team.
Okay.
Or selfish for me not to do a team because I could impact somebody else's life. And that's how it started.
So your team actually started because you saw your ability to impact her life by bringing her on board. So it wasn't that you grew the team out of necessity per se.
I mean, I was busy,
opportunity,
but I also, like, my bandwidth was a little high. I could keep going, but I was like, you know what? No, I could do more with more people, and I wanted to see her succeed. So she came on. She was very successful. She did over $100,000 the first year with me, and then we got an assistant, Lauren. Lauren is still with me.
Yeah.
She's our operations manager. She is amazing. And now, I've gone through a lot of life changes over the last year, and team changes for that matter. And I had been, and for those of you that don't know, I'll say what happened last year. Was really at the top of my game. I'm a runner, really healthy. And then all of a sudden, surprise, breast cancer.
Okay.
And that stopped my world.
Yeah.
Just stopped. I've had the opportunity to meet very many people around the nation through Keller Williams, events and things like that.
Of course.
But I'd had the opportunity also to meet Sarah Reynolds, who is my business partner now. And I knew, even like when I was going through cancer, I knew that we were planning this. Like, I knew what was to come.
You knew before you knew kind
I
of
knew
thing?
before I knew.
Okay.
So many things to look forward to. But last year, like, things did pause for me, and that was hard. That was really difficult.
So in this journey of life, we find ourselves in highs and lows, and sometimes the perseverance takes us by surprise, right? Were you surprised by your own perseverance and how you pushed through that part of life or part of business?
Was I surprised? You want me to answer honestly?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I've always been the pusher througher.
Okay.
I'm not stopped by the word no. I'm not hindered by things. It'll shake me, sure, but I'll keep going.
Okay.
I'll always keep going.
And this one got you for a minute.
It did.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't see how it couldn't.
I can only ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to? Where are we going from here? Like, you partnered up with Sarah, which I think it took a lot of us in the bleachers by surprise. We're like, oh wow, didn't see that coming yet. Wow, that makes a lot of sense, right?
So I wasn't looking for anybody to join, really.
Right.
I should probably back up at how I met her.
Okay.
That might help.
Okay.
So back up to 2015, Via Williams from Seattle. She was here in town and she was teaching a class. And I went up to her afterwards and I was like, "You're going to be my coach." And she said, "No, I'm not." And I said, "Yes, you are." She's like, "I only coach 2 people and I have those 2 people." And I was like, "Well, congratulations, you coach 3. And she was like, "Well, tell me a little bit about yourself." And I told her a little bit. I was like, "Listen, I'm building a team. I need to get this off and rolling. I'm 3 months pregnant and you're the one to help me." Because when she spoke, I just got it. Got it.
Right.
And she was like, "Okay."
So you were number 3.
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
So
I love her.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's been a big part of my success.
Okay.
And a big, huge supporter of me. Then and then she stopped coaching like a year later. As she got me coaching, and with Abe Shreve, she was like, she put her other 2 girls with somebody else, and then she was like, "I just don't know who I'm going to put you with." And I was like, "Oh boy, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to go find somebody."
Yeah.
She goes, "The only person I can give you to is my coach." And I was like, "Oh, ears perked up. Okay." Yeah. So I learned so much from Abe as well. And then he went on the MAPS business coaching, and then I've been coaching with Jordan Freed, who's amazing as well. So, and I think that you know him.
I know Jordan very well.
Yes. So fast forward though, Via and I were at a conference and we went and got lunch together, and we were walking back in, and in this line for coffee was Sarah. She's like, "Oh, you got to meet Sarah. Come here and meet Sarah." And so it's like, it was super in passing, like, "Oh, hey, like, nice to meet you." Via was like, "Oh, this is Linde, blah, blah, blah," nothing huge. The moral of the story is, like, never pass up an opportunity or how impactful a very slight meeting can be.
Okay.
Because this was in passing.
Right.
And I added her on Facebook. But what I continued to do was to form a relationship with Sarah.
Okay.
And honestly, I thought she was really cool. I saw her on stage. I loved what she had to say. I loved her heart. And I was more curious about how are you running your team, right?
Sure,
I want to
sure.
learn. And we just started this relationship, and then she was like, and I was like, we were like, how would this look if we worked together?
Yeah.
And the numbers made sense for the model, being in Atlanta, all of these things. And we worked on it for a little bit and put it together.
There you go.
And it has been, honest to God, the best decision I've made career-wise.
I love it. I think the lesson in that is just asking sometimes is how you get into relationship with people.
Mm-hmm.
And the insignificant passing by meeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Open the door for you to start that relationship. And to your surprise, she was super open to helping.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's really interesting. A lot of people that are looking up at people they respect or admire, and I'm sure there's a lot of agents in the office that look up to you. And I'm not trying to flood you with people asking you. But at the same time, that intimidation keeps them from reaching out and attempting to develop a relationship. And it may or may not go well every time, but you just never know.
Yeah. I definitely was very purposeful going to mega camp or to family reunion.
Right.
That for breakout sessions, I would really try to make sure I was seeing who I needed to learn from.
Right.
And then I would make a point to be in contact with them.
Yeah.
I just put myself out there.
You weren't intimidated by it?
No.
Okay. Some people are, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. But I think maybe that's an encouragement not to be intimidated, because who knows what that relationship can bring to your life, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I've said it before, we talk about it, it's the books you read and the people you meet change your life the most, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are more approachable than we probably realize, right?
Totally. And it was the same thing when I first got into this office. I had a mentor and very, very dear friend of mine. She's in the office, and she really kind of opened up her arms and took me under her wing and told me what to do. And then one day she said, "You've surpassed me." And I still don't believe that, but that's what she said.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You need to go find."
It's kind of like Via. They both just kick you out into the next
Yes.
one, right? You're like, wait.
Exactly. People have believed in me more so than I really believed in myself.
Yep.
And then that eventually grew to confidence that I can do this. And
I think one of the most empowering things someone can do is to say, I see you as this. I believe you can become this. And people have done that for you. And what I'm hearing in your story is, at least that first agent you brought on board, you're doing that for others now.
yeah, it is.
That's really cool.
It's really awesome to watch somebody form their dream and then give them the resources to be able to go and do that. It's life-changing for me.
Yeah.
And maybe for them,
Yeah.
when they're out there doing what they want to do.
So to succeed at real estate at a high level, and I didn't give you this question ahead of time, so I'm going to apologize.
That's
But
okay.
if there were three things that you think attributed the most to your success, I think the first one's got to be your work ethic. Okay.
Yes.
But what do you think the other two are?
My mindset.
Okay.
Okay, I just don't get bothered by the word no.
Okay.
And it's pretty hard it is hard to shake me a little bit. And then the third thing is the support around me.
Okay.
People believing in me, people encouraging me. I do so well when people pat me on the back and say, "Good job." It makes me want to go do it again.
Right.
I don't know, does that answer your question?
Yeah. No. So the work ethic, support around you, and I missed the second one. I'm sorry.
I forgot now.
Oh no, we both forgot. Oh, that's fine. We'll go back and watch.
We'll go back and watch it.
We're recording.
Tidbits from Linde. You never know.
All
what to
right.
say.
Oh my God, I can't remember. All right. So TED Talk and book. It's my favorite question. If you were going to write a book or give a TED Talk tomorrow, What would yours be about?
Resiliency.
Okay, tell me more.
You can try to knock me down, then pop right back up.
Okay. So
Yeah.
resilience is your word, right?
Yes. So, I mean, everybody has things in their in their life that happen that aren't great, right? And I think a lot of people, well, people have said this to me, like, you're always smiling, you're always having fun, and
Yeah.
that's true. But it doesn't mean that there aren't really hard things going on. It's just that I make the choice to focus on the good,
Right.
and to focus on the positive, and to keep, just succeeding no matter what.
Yeah. And that ultimately brings you your resilience.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. So Linde Moore, your team name?
The Linde and Sarah Group.
Linde and Sarah Group. So 2019, what kind of success do you have?
So I should say Linde and Sarah Group started in March.
Yeah.
So we've been in for 5 months.
Okay.
But in 2019, I was the #1 female-led team in KWFA.
There you go.
It's number 3. There's 2 guys ahead of me.
All right. You're taking them
And
down, I'm sure.
And that was while battling cancer. So.
Oh, wow.
Proud
All
of that.
right. So 2020, I'm sure you had the vision, right? And
Yes.
we all got sidetracked with this Corona stuff,
Oh, I just had the best month of my career. Like, no, I don't want to hear that.
You don't even care. So
No, don't care.
I was just sitting there thinking, it's like we keep talking about this pandemic, but a lot of us in our heads, it doesn't exist. And that doesn't mean medically, and I don't want to get into the politics and all that, but I mean, I act as if my business is not affected.
That's exactly right.
Congratulations. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy